Hello everyone, my name is Ashwini Jain, and before introducing myself, I would like to thank you for anadbits.com for providing me this opportunity to come in front of you everyone and share about my experiences and how did I get scholarships so that I can share my experience and other people can get also benefit. So as I mentioned, my name is Ashwini Jain and I did my BTech in civil engineering from IIT Bombay, and I am originally from Jaipur city, and I finished my BTech in 2015, and just after finishing my BTech I came to Purdue University for my masters in civil engineering, and my specialization was construction engineering and management. So when I was applying for my masters, then basically I was interested in some research work, okay, and I wanted to like pursue my masters more on research area side, okay, in the civil engineering. So there are two type of masters, okay. One is course only, and another one is course plus research work, and this kind of option is available in most of the universities, and so and it really depends on you basically. If you can opt for any of the options, you can opt for only course only, and you can opt for course plus research work also program. So now the question is basically, if you are going for higher studies, maybe your masters or your PhD, okay, then how do you get scholarships? Okay, so first I would like to tell you about type of scholarships. Okay, there are various type of scholarships. Okay, so one is fellowship, okay, second is research assistant, third is teaching assistant, fourth is graduate assistant, and fifth is basically interest free loans. Okay, so these are basically five types of assistantships. Okay, so fellowship is basically the free money, okay, provided by maybe your university, or maybe your alumni, okay, or maybe your government. So these type of like kind of like fellowships, okay, and in these type of fellowships you don't need to work, okay, for any professor or for any university, and this fellowship is very very competitive. So I remember like that when I was at Purdue, couple of my friends from like different countries like Egypt or Taiwan or Thailand, okay, they got or Philippines, they got these kind of scholarships, okay, and it's basically their government like provided those type of scholarships, because see, they provide these type of scholarships so that they can improve their or they are funding some PhD students, so that once students finish their PhD they can come back to their country. So that's why government is interested in these type of fellowships, okay. So I think for Indian students it's very very competitive, okay, and there are so many people. So fellowship, I haven't seen many like I haven't seen like any Indian getting a fellowship. It's very very competitive. Second is research assistantship. So research assistantship is basically you come to the university, you take some courses, you also work with a professor, okay, and in this research assistantship you are working either maybe on a research topic with a professor on any of your interested in your interest research work, or on any ongoing research project under the professor. So this is basically depending, it depends on your compatibility with your professor with whom you want to work, and what's the interest of your research and what's the interest of your professor's research work and all those. So it's more about the compatibility thing. And third thing is teaching assistantship. Teaching assistantship is basically you are taking a course, okay, so you won't be teaching the course, but you will be basically grading some of the assignments in that course. So and you will be taking doubt sessions, or maybe you will basically take some tutorial classes. So that's kind of like teaching assistantship. So teaching assistantship is mainly available like in maths department or in statistics department or in computer science departments, okay. So I will come in more details later on. Fourth one is graduate assistantship, okay. So in case, like I will also explain about my case. So when I was at Purdue doing my masters, I was also a graduate assistant. Okay, and not many people are aware of this option. Okay, so graduate assistant is basically they maybe they have IT department, or maybe they have like some professors working on like big projects. Okay, so they need some students who can work on technical part or something like that. So while doing my studies at Purdue, I was working for the Purdue IT department, and my work is basically my work was basically to do some business analysis related stuffs, and creating some dashboards. Okay, and project management related work. So that was my work at Purdue, and that's like graduate. That's called graduate assistant. Okay, so in graduate assistant, you go in an office. Okay, you work 20 hours per week, and then basically you come back home and do your studies. So that's like fourth option. Fifth option or fifth type of scholarship is interest-free loans. Okay, there are a couple of organizations. Okay, like KC Mahindra, Narottam Shiksharya. Okay, in India, so they provide some interest-free loans. So that's also a good option. I got a message from Nikhil, and he said, Ashwini, can you drop a message about yourself? Okay. So guys, let me finish this this webinar. Okay, and I will read all of your comments. Okay, later on, and I will basically reply one by one. Okay, is that fine with you? So because there are a couple of topics that I need to cover in this webinar, and I'm little bit worried that it might be a little bit longer. So to keep it very short and crisp, okay, let me go through the points that I have noted down. And if you need to, if you want to ask again, okay, I will read your comments. So please put your comments here. Okay, and I will go through one by one, and I will reply you okay, each individually. So my next point is basically what is required to get each type of scholarships. Okay, so I mentioned like there are five type of scholarships: fellowship, RShip, teaching assistantship, okay, graduate assistantship, and interest-free loan. Okay, so fellowship is basically provided by your academic excellence. Let's suppose you have some Olympiads, or you are working you are working for some big organizations or governments. Okay, and you basically get qualified those for those fellowships. So that's like very competitive, very highly competitive option. RShip, okay, for RShip you need to have good research experience. Okay, maybe in your undergrad, or maybe you are doing MTech from India. So you need to have good research experience. Okay, and maybe some papers also. So if you are applying for your masters, then having like one or two conference paper helps. Okay, but if you are applying for a PhD, having like one or two journal paper helps to get RShip. Another thing is basically, if you want to apply for RShip, okay, then have some good GRE score, especially in GRE verbal, and have some good TOEFL score also. So that's the kind of like requirement, and have a topic in which you are interested, and now also look for professors, okay, in which you want to work, under which you want to work. Okay, so and then contact those professors. So that's the requirement for RShip. Teaching assistantship, you need to have some prior experience in teaching assistantship, okay, in teaching. And if not, then you need to have a good TOEFL score or IELTS score. So generally, I will tell you like how the teaching assistantship works. So there are, if you are coming for your masters, okay, you will be having undergraduate students also in your university. Okay, these undergraduate students have to take some mandatory courses like mathematics, okay, linear algebra, okay, statistics 101, or computer programming, basic computer programming. Okay, so these type of courses they have to take. Okay, and what happens is basically mathematics, in mathematics department there are some PhD students or some PhD some master's students, okay, so they get these type of scholarships, but they are always like short of these teaching assistants, so they try to hire some teaching assistants, okay, from outside of the departments. So that's why they are looking for, some students who have some prior experience in teaching, or who has very very good TOEFL score, so that because having a like good TOEFL score shows that good TOEFL or good IELTS score shows that you are very good at communication, so you can easily communicate with the students. So that's a like requirement of teaching assistantship. Graduate assistantship or GA, okay, you have to have good technical skills, okay. So maybe like you have some, some programming experience, or some good data analytics experience, or cloud computing experience, okay, or website designing experience, or mobile application building app experience. So like a lot of professors, like professors in agriculture department or biotechnology department, or some other random other departments, so they are working on big projects every time, okay, all the times. So they are looking for, some people who can basically build these products, okay, for them. So if you have some good type of good experience. Yeah, I'm really sorry, guys, why the connection dropped. Okay, maybe the Wi-Fi stopped working suddenly. So I was on the graduate assistantship topic. So you need to have some, good technical experience on programming or web applications or something like that. So once you have that, okay, your chances of getting a graduate assistantship increases. And the last option, interest-free loans. Okay, so these are provided by some organizations like KC Mahindra, Narottam Shakshi scholarships. Okay, so they generally provide interest-free loans and good like qualifications, educational qualifications. So like I remember one of my friends, from IIT Bombay, he applied for Narottam Shakshi and KC Mahindra, and he was going to University of maybe like some university in California, UCSD, yeah, UCSD, and he got both of the scholarships, and it was interest-free loans. So that's the another option. And my next point is, like, a lot of students have a question that how much money is given in these type of scholarships. Okay, so again, the fellowship and interest-free loans, it depends on the person. Okay, it depends on the scholarship, but generally in teaching assistantship and research assistantship and graduate assistantship, okay, RATA, depending on the university, and you get some monthly stipend. So there are two type of, assistantship. One is quarter time, okay, and one is half time. In quarter time, you have to work for 10 hours per week, okay, and in half time you have to work for 20 hours per week. And so in some universities, even if you're working half time or full time, your full tuition fee is waived off, okay. And if you're working half time, basically 20 hours per week, then you get around like 1,500 to $1,800 a month, okay, depending on the university and cost of living. And if you are working like 10 hours per week, and then you get generally like $900 or $800 or $1,000, again depending on the university. Okay, and in some universities, if you are working 10 hours per week, okay, then your half tuition fee is waived off, okay. And at Purdue, some students, they were getting half time, or sorry, some students were working 10 hours per week, but their entire tuition fee was waived off. So before, getting a scholarship or before applying, or okay, make sure, okay, that if you get quarter time assistantship like 10 hours per week, then how much tuition fees waived off, okay, just see their website, then you will get this information. And so my next point is, like, some of the students or some people, they ask me like, if you don't get a scholarship before beginning of the first semester, then what to do. Okay, that's a really good question actually. So that also happened in my case. So when I applied, I didn't get any scholarship, I started taking loan, okay. And So when I came to Purdue, I directly approached a professor, okay, and I told him that, professor, I really want to work with you. I'm really interested in your research work, okay. And it's not like just saying, okay, I read his research papers, okay, I provided some comments, okay, some feedbacks on his research papers, okay. So I was able to show that, okay, I'm really, really interested in his research work. So what I'm trying to say is basically, if you don't get a scholarship, in the first semester, there are a lot of students like that, okay. And it's also, right from the professor's perspective, because they are basically trust, like they have to trust on you, okay. And which is a like very like big thing, which is a very important thing. You are sitting in India, okay, they are living in the US, okay. How they can trust on you? So to show the trust factor, you have to basically do something, okay. I know that like when I was in IIT, a lot of these professors come to IIT for taking a seminar, and they meet students, okay, and then students basically show the interest. And in that case, the trust factor is not an issue, because see, they are coming to IITs, okay, through a professor's connection, okay. So they know that these students are really, really good. So for a professor working in the US, okay, trust factor is an issue, okay. So the point I'm trying to make is, don't worry if you don't get a scholarship in the first semester, okay. Try to like approach the professor, okay, show the interest, okay. And once you come to the university, okay, start working with the professor from the first semester itself, from the day one itself, okay, which shows your commitment, okay. And once you shows the commitment, then professors also understand, okay. And if you are working for the first semester without any scholarship, okay, with the professor, okay, then from the second semester it's highly probable that they will start giving you funding, okay. And I have seen like that's also happened in my case, okay. And that's also happened in like couple of my friends case. In my case, my professor gave me funding, he wanted to give me funding, but it was only like quarter time, as I mentioned earlier. So quarter time, so I was basically, my tuition fee was waived off, but my professor was ready to give me $900 a month. And Purdue IT department, they were giving me $1,500 a month, okay. So I accepted those other offers. I decided not to join my professor's research work. So try to show these commitments to these professors and have some technical skills. So that's the thing. And next point is, a lot of students are confused that when to apply, or when is the right time, okay, to apply for these scholarships, okay. And so I would like to say that, see, there is no right time to apply for these scholarships, okay. So many times, if you are like applying to a university, so in their application, they mention that you will be eligible for scholarships also by default, okay. So you don't have to apply directly. So that's your like application, as well as scholarship or fellowship application also. So try to fill your application like very seriously, because your SOP, your LORs, your overall your profile, that matters, okay. And that will be considered in your selection, as well as in your scholarships also. And so another question is basically, many students ask that after receiving the repayment, okay, how they can ask for funding, okay. So there is no like asking for funding or something like that. You are basically showing your interest, that you are interested in working with a professor, okay. So try to see couple of professors in your department, like based on your interest. And read their research papers, listen to their research papers, and show them your interest, and show them that, okay, professor, this is really good, okay. And I also have an idea in that domain, something like that, okay, similar idea. And show them that what exactly you can bring to the table, okay, for the professor, how you can basically add value to their research group. So if you will show like your value addition, okay, what exactly you are bringing to the table, then professor will also be interested, okay. And then they can also say that, okay, I really like your profile, and there is an opportunity for you in my research group, or something like that, okay. So it's not about asking, it's basically about selling yourself, it's showing your potential, okay, showing your skill sets to the to professors. So writing a good good like decent size email, okay, to these professors really helps, okay. But before writing that email, do your homework, okay, read their research papers, okay, and show them like how you exactly you can contribute, or like what exact skill sets you have, or if any prior experience you have, okay. And many people, they also have a question like, if we don't get a scholarship, okay, how can we reduce our financial burden, or how can we basically do our masters, okay. So see, if you don't get scholarships, okay, that's not a problem. Now these days, there are a lot of loan companies in India, and they provide like on 10 9 to 10% or 11% or some interest rate, okay. And that's not a problem actually, because if you are coming to USA, okay, and by taking a loan, okay, after the once you get a job, you can always repay the loan, okay. I will come to the loan portion, little bit later also, like how exactly we can do it. So but the thing is like, see, like if you are coming for masters, on coursework only, so like for example in Purdue University, I had to finish 30 credits, okay. And like 30 credits means 10 courses. So to get my master's degree, I had to finish 10 courses. So what many people do is they take 4 courses in the first semester, 4 courses in the second semester, and 2 courses in the last semester, okay. So the semester fee is basically around $15,000 per semester, okay. And that's like your tuition fee, $15,000. And your living expenses are around like $600 or $700 a month, okay. So roughly if you like calculate for the entire year, your expenses are basically around 30,000 for the tuition fee, and somewhere around like $7,000 a year for living expenses, okay. So $37,000, or okay. So roughly 35 to $40,000, which is around like 25 lakhs rupees, 25 to 27 lakhs rupees, so see, the thing is like, you can generally get 25 lakhs rupees loan in India very easily nowadays, okay. And once finish your 2 semesters, okay, you are eligible to do an internship in the US. And in during internship, I have seen many of my friends, they saved around like 5,000 to $10,000, like in those internships, okay. And what happens is basically in the third semester, you are taking only 2 courses, okay. So that's called reduced course workload. And in reduced course workload, for 6 credits, you are only paying $6,000 a year. And since you already saved like some money for your internships, okay, you can always like pay the third semester tuition fee from that, okay. And that's what they ask in I-20. Like when you get your I-20, they only ask for like to show your finances for only 1 year, okay. So think about it. I mean, if you don't get a scholarship, don't be discouraged or don't be disappointed. You can always come, okay, to the US and do your studies, okay, by taking a like loan, which is around like 25 lakhs rupees to like 30 lakhs rupees, depending on the location, depending on the university, okay. And see, the positive side that you have to see is by coming to US, you are like you are getting their exposure, okay. You are doing your master's degree, and then once you will finish your master's, you will be eligible for working here also. So uh, so next question is basically some students ask like what kind of fields of research assistantship, RShip and TAship, okay. So RShip is mainly like research oriented fields. So for example, if you are going into biotechnology, or agriculture, okay, or maybe medicine, okay, these are like fields which are research oriented, okay. But so like these fields have so many like research assistantship opportunities. But if you are going to, let's suppose, construction engineering and management, or if you are going for MBA, okay, or if you are going for industrial engineering, okay, so in these fields there is not much research, okay. So there are not many research assistantship opportunities also. So then, okay, so that's like these are the fields for research assistantship. Teaching assistantship, again, For example, chemistry, okay, or mathematics or statistics. These departments, they have like mandatory courses for undergraduates, okay. So they need teaching assistants, and that's why, like, if you'll apply in these like departments, it's probably, like, it's highly probable that you can get teaching assistantship in these departments. Okay. Next question that some of the students asked me about is basically, how much can I earn through part-time jobs during my studies? So again, if you don't get a scholarships, again, you can work for part-time. Like, you can work in a, like, dorm, or you can work in a, like, mess, okay, or you can work somewhere in the university. So if you're working part-time, you generally get like $10 to $12 or $8 to $12, depending on the university location. So you get roughly around $10 an hour, okay, and you can work 20 hours per week. So essentially you can basically like earn around $800 a month. So that's like the amount that you can earn, okay. And next point is what to do in undergrad to boost chances of getting scholarships and profile build. So see, if you are applying for your masters, you have to start working from your undergraduate, okay. And many students have this question that, what can I do now, okay, to build my profile, okay, or to boost my scholarship chances. So what I want to say is basically, start working with a professor, okay, and see their research experience, okay. Give them your commitments and during your undergraduate, okay, courses, okay. If you are working with a professor, it's highly possible that they might be having some contacts in US universities, okay, with some professors, okay. So if you are doing some good research work, during your undergraduate studies, that will basically increase your chances of getting scholarships also. And some students ask me, like, for getting a scholarship, is it fall, like applying into fall semester is better, or spring semester? So I would like to say that, like, if you are considering for research assistantship or teaching assistantship, then applying to fall semester is much better, because undergraduate students, in these big universities, they come to fall semester, okay. And they need teaching TAs from that fall semester itself, okay. So for example, math department. So math department is basically, they finalize all their TAs, for this year long TAs, okay, in before the fall semester, like June or July, something like that, okay. So, and that's the only time, they finalize their TA, June or July. Because for the spring semester, they don't roll out the application again, they consider your teaching assistantship application for both spring and fall, both semesters. So if you are coming to, fall semester, okay, and if you are applying, if you are applying for a teaching assistantship or research assistantship, okay, your chances in fall is much better than spring. And the last point is basically, again, the process of applying for scholarships, and so again, I would like to repeat that when you are applying, or when you are filling your application, that's also your, scholarship or fellowship application. So try to fill, very seriously, okay. And some universities, they have other scholarships also. So for that, you might have to write different scholarship essay, or you might have to apply differently. And as I mentioned earlier, like, there are some organizations in India, like Narottam Shakshriya or scholarship, or KK Mahindra, and they provide interest-free loans. So those organizations, okay, they need a separate application, so you have to basically apply separately. And that also starts, like, around like like December, January, February. So that's a separate application process. But to get research assistantship, RA-ship, TA-ship, okay, you have to, like, your application is like, when you're applying for your application, that's also by default considered for RA-ship and TA-ship. But for GA, graduate assistantship, you have to search their application like, you have to search university portals, different portals, okay, and see what kind of app positions are open. So you have to do your basically work in there, in that part. Search, as much as possible in that university what kind of graduate assistantships are open, and apply for those separately. And yeah, that's it. And if you have any questions, then you can mention in the comments, and I will be here for next 4 5 minutes. I will be here for next 2 3 minutes, and I will see your comments, and I will try to answer those. So feel free to post your comments. And I would like to mention that Nikhil told me that scholarships. I think they post regular, scholarship updates or some fellowships, okay, positions in those groups. So that also will be really helpful for you guys. Nishant is mentioning that major sources of findings or fundings. Sandeep mentioned that I would like to know how we can leverage our profile for PhD admissions without any publications, given that publications are a real indicator of research potential. That's a good question, Sandeep. So, see, if you don't have any publications, don't worry about it. But try to have, focus on your master's thesis. Okay, your master's thesis should be really, really good. If you have good master's thesis, and then that's also a good indicator if you're a good profile. So try to have good research like master's thesis. Who provides interest free loans? So these interest free loans are provided by, again, organizations, okay, like non-profit organizations, again, like KC Mahindra, and Narattam Shiksha Scholarship also, provides interest free loans. So that's also depends on you. You need to have, good profile, and then they select some candidates, and then they interview those candidates, and based on the interviews, they finalize, like they select some candidates for interest free loans. Abhinav asked, like, what should one do in their undergrad years of studies to boost chances of getting accepted for scholarship info? I already answered that. At what interest rate and from which bank you got loan in Jaipur? So, see, frankly speaking, I was not much aware about the loan option that time. Okay, and my uncle, so I don't have good financial background, okay, but my uncle, he had some business with UCO Bank, okay, and without, having like a mortgage or something like that, it was difficult for me, okay, but my uncle really helped me to get a loan, and it was from the UCO Bank. So it took around 2 months, okay, for me to get a loan. But now these days, there are so many good companies out there. Nikhil told me, I think, and foreign admits in on their profile, they have some tie-ups with like some organizations or some companies, and they like explain the process of these getting a loan. So try to contact foreign admits, they can really help you in getting a loan at a decent rate. And you might get some, benefits also, like some vouchers or some coupons also from foreign admits. So Nishant mentioned GARATA. Okay, the one is basically that categories for scholarships. Second category is scholarships from the universities, like fellowships, and third one is scholarships from organizations like Narottam Mahindra, etc. That's exactly right, Nishant. How many months it? Another question from Dinesh Reddy is how many months it will take to clear out education loan of 40 lakhs after MS? Was it the average salary for mechanical engineers? That's a really good question, and I really apologize that I didn't cover this part. So see, like, let's do some calculations. Okay, so let's suppose the average salary for a mechanical engineer is around $60,000 a year, something like 60 or $70,000 a year. And based on my experience, I have seen that generally you can save like 20 to $25,000 a year. Okay, or $30,000 a year, depending on your expenses. So let's consider $25,000 that you are able to save $25,000 a year. So actually, no, actually more than that. You can save 20 to 30. So let's consider $30,000. Okay, you can save maybe $30,000 a year or something like that. So 20 lakhs rupees. Okay, you can save 20 lakhs rupees on an yearly basis. So you can like basically repay your education loan in 2 to 3 years. And if you're in the STEM program, you can work for 3 years and then you can get your H1B also. So generally it takes like 2 to 3 again years for repaying your education loan. But see, this 40 lakhs rupees is like too high, because as I mentioned earlier, you need like 25 to 30 lakhs rupees, okay, for your studies. That's it, not more than that. Do we receive so Kimberly John asked, do we receive these scholarships in USD or do they deduct credit hours? Frankly speaking, I don't know. Because, oh, okay, you are talking maybe about teaching assistantship or research assistantship or RSship. Okay, so yeah, you get money in USD, and do they deduct credit hours? I didn't get your point exactly what you are trying to mention. Nikhil mentioned some universities also have US based co-signer things for low interest loans. That would be best. Yeah. So another thing actually, if you have some relative or some family member in the US, okay, and they can trust on you, so you can take loans from the US based banks, okay, and you need to have a co-signer for that. So if you have a co-signer and then take loan, okay, through your relative from the US bank, so then your interest rate might be like very very low. So consider that options also. And Nikhil mentioned foreign admits have new tie-ups with some amazing loan deals, which can provide you at a very Yep, exactly. For PhD, is it GRE accept us? That's a very good question. So there are two parts. Okay, one is accepted by the university and another one is accepted by the professor. Okay, so to get accepted by the university, you have to have good GRE score and good TOEFL score. Okay, and you have to meet their requirements, TOEFL or IELTS score. Once you meet the university requirement, then you will be eligible for the department requirements or professors requirements. Okay, so let's suppose if you are applying for PhD, so first you need to be accepted by the university, and then if you will get scholarships, okay, then that has to be given by the professor. So there are two parts basically here. Kimberly mentioned, I am not sure if it's called credit points or credit points. My friend at Illinois Institute said they deduct in the form of total fee and not pay in dollars. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay. So again, university, every university is different, in the US. So they might be having a different system. And like in case of Purdue, they were giving me like some money on the monthly basis, and they waived off my tuition fee also. And I was talking to one like person from some another university in California day before yesterday, and he mentioned that their system is quite different from Purdue. So again, it depends on the university to university. So what you can do is basically, I think again, foreign admits have like they have some mentors, okay, from different universities. You can connect with those mentors, like connect from different mentors through foreign admits. Does that depend from university? Yep, exactly, depends on university to university. What is a good time to contact professors for RNT, etc.? Um, there is no right time, frankly speaking. Like you can do some good, like you have to write, their research papers for RShip. Okay, so try to start from as soon as possible. And but the ideal time that I would say to start might be basically maybe September or October of the previous year. So like let's suppose if you are applying for fall 2020, okay, then start preparing or reading the previous papers from like September 2019 or October 2019. Yeah. Dinesh Reddy asked, does a professor will have only one goal or more in teaching assistantship, research assistantship, and what is the minimum score required in IELTS since ZRA plays a major role? Yeah, they can have multiple TAs and multiple RAs also, so that's why you need to contact them, GRE also, because they want to see like how's your communication skills. Because see, you are coming from India. Like if you are coming from India or some other countries where English is not the primary like first language, then sometimes professors might be hesitant. So by looking at the GRE and IELTS or TOEFL score, they want to like make sure that your communication skills are good. You are able to communicate with other people, because if you are coming for a teaching assistantship, you have to talk to Americans, okay, and Americans, their primary language or their first language is English, so you should be able to communicate, okay, and Americans should also be able to understand. That's why they ask for these scores. And yeah, that's it. I think I was able to help you guys and answer your queries, and it was a great session. And thanks, Nikhil, and thanks for admits.com for providing me this opportunity. And I'm really, really sorry that initially there was some technical problem, and also in the middle of the session, there was some technical problem that I got disconnected. I don't know why. Maybe my Wi-Fi started like stopped working. So I really, really apologize for that. And if you have any questions, text me, or like we will upload, like foreign admits will upload this video on YouTube after this, and so you can also comment on that, and then I will be checking that comments regularly and solve your questions, okay, answer your questions. Thanks a lot again everyone for taking out your time and attending this webinar or attending this session, and I hope it will be really helpful for you.